So, okay, are you guys ready for some news?
Yes. Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time. The time you've been waiting for. That's right. Get your robe open. It's time for the good news, the bad news, and the other shit. That's right. The good news, the bad news, and the other shit. Get
it, Mario.
All right, I'm telling you, what can I say? What can I say? The good news, the bad news, the other shit.
Okay.
Not necessarily every one of them, but not necessarily in that order, because I think that today we actually have to start with some bad news. Ladies and gentlemen, rest in peace, George Michael, our brother, who we enjoyed so much of his music.
Right.
Everybody, just give a little applause right now for George.
Yeah.
Went through a lot.
George Michael.
Growth, change. Supposedly died in his sleep early Christmas morning.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what they're reporting.
I went and tried to look through his past, and he had been through some things. He had been through a recent health scare. That's what we were talking about. So no one knows exactly what the cause of death was, and to be determined. But one could speculate on all that.
Yeah.
But we wanted to take a moment to celebrate his life. I know that tomorrow night on the Quiet Storm, I'll make sure to hit a few of the pieces, at least in celebration of the life of George Michael. So tune into the Quiet Storm tomorrow night, Tuesday, and we'll be celebrating his life and his music and the journey that was. Amazing, the people who been coming out all on social media, to whom he meant so much.
I'm one of them.
And tell us about your feelings, Mika. Why? I mean, it's interesting. Everybody bonded him for different reasons.
It's obvious I grew up on listening to that genre of music, and my mother was more of a jazz type of woman and rhythm and blues and Cuban music. My dad, he used to play in a local band in Arkansas, and he actually used to play all types of music through the house. We clean up to it, we cook to it, we have parties. My family was known for having parties. I couldn't get enough of parties. So George Michael was one of my mom and my sister that's deceased favorite artists. One of the, besides what's his name, the one that sang can't think of his name, Boy George, and Simply Red. So they played a major part in my life as far as influence of music and the rhythm of instruments, and I gravitated towards that. So all of his songs that he came out with, I loved every last one of them. That's not a song of his that I don't like.
I think we have to acknowledge his gayness, because for him, his coming out was a big deal.
Very much so.
A lot of people didn't know.
Here's the thing. Don't we owe it to gay artists to acknowledge their contribution in a sense? When you said Simply Red,
yes, and
Boy George, and George Michael, here you have three artists, a group and two artists where you have at least the gay lifestyle represented.
Right.
And I think in a lot of ways, like we acknowledge soul music, maybe there's a time comes when we acknowledge what the gay flair brought to music, because it did bring things to music, and maybe that needs to be acknowledged recognized and honored too.
My mom, when she played these songs, that wasn't even the issue or the focus. If we liked your music and you deliver a message that we could relate to, we loved you for who you were as the artist. It didn't matter your sexual orientation. So it was. I didn't find out until later that this was what they were about, and it didn't take nothing away from them when for me when it came to their creativity as an artist. I didn't care if they were gay or not. If you're a good person and you are very well into your craft and you're delivering something for everybody to relate to, then I leave it at that. and his work is highly appreciated.
It becomes an issue more as the politics of people asking for fairness in society. Right. Those kind of things bring the issues to the forefront. I'm sure that people felt that way about artists that were black in the old days. I support them. I didn't look at their blackness. Right. Okay, but one day their blackness becomes an issue, and then you have to deal with that. He did a lot of stuff. Let me remind you that "Careless Whisper,"
my song,
that was written by Montel Jordan, the man who brought you "This Is How We Do It." Right, that's "Careless Whisper." That's exactly who wrote "Careless Whisper." He did a bunch of stuff. Father Figure, I can guarantee you I'll be playing that tomorrow night.
I used to have a crush on George Michael. I used to have a crush on him.
Figure, I will be playing those tomorrow night. Guarantee. So,
but hold on, Mario, because you have a lot of vinyl up here. Okay? And, back in the day, it was important to show some type of image on your cover to get people to buy your vinyl. And I noticed that a lot of artists today don't really care about that as much as back in the day with Motown and some of the other, what you call alternative artists. Their cover had a story, or it alluded to something that you could relate to in the actual lyrics. So with George Michael's and all the rest of the, Cyndi Laupers and all that, their cover was shock covers, or they were storyteller covers. And when you see stuff like that, it's like, wow, I didn't imagine that.
It's a lost art form. It may be recovered because there's always things to do in multimedia. So hopefully we'll see that. But at least I will say this. One thing about the artists of these eras that you will forever be able to see them full living color, looking their best. You'll be able to watch Michael Jackson the rest of your life looking wonderful. Right. George Michael too. Right. Again, rest in peace, George Michael.
Don't forget Prince.
Christmas all over the world, and yet conflict all over the world. It's amazing when you go to the news and you go to look at the things that are going around on the holidays, that the world continues. The things don't change. One of the big stories that came up and has been an ongoing story is the issue of fake news.
Oh, really?
Fake news. As it turns out, a bunch of the news stories, one of the ones I responded to on Facebook was the brother on the plane who said he was getting kicked off because that was a big fake news.
I could sock him.
So, this is an issue, but that's an example of on a different level. But what happens is you actually have fake news now that's causing international incidents. Let me give you an example. Twitter confrontations between world powers. Ooh. There was a fake news story that caused a Twitter confrontation between Pakistan and Israel.
Ooh.
Think about this. A Twitter confrontation between Pakistan and Israel. And it took place because of a fake news story headline. And the headline was, Israeli Defense Minister says, if Pakistan sends ground troops to Syria on any pretext, we will destroy this country with a nuclear attack. That was the fake news headline. I'll say it again. So the fake news line went out saying that the Israeli Defense Minister was quoted as saying, if Pakistan sends ground troops to Syria in any pretext, we will destroy this country with a nuclear attack. The story appeared on December 20th on a website, AWD News. Now, in a response to that, Pakistan's defense minister tweeted, and I quote, Pakistan is a nuclear state too.
Yes. That's not new.
Okay, yeah.
But that's the tweet. Now, what you're seeing is world powers posturing in public on Twitter.
Yep.
Over a fake
right
news story.
Yeah.
An Israeli defense minister tweeted back saying the original story was totally fictitious. And here's a picture. If you take a look, here's a picture of the tweets. right here. So I gotta first ask you guys. Well, first of all, let's think about the precedent here, because your president-elect has been doing policy via Twitter. I think that's so ridiculous. So your president-elect is doing policy through Twitter, enough that, but it's not just him.
Right.
Now you have the defense minister of Pakistan and Israel exchanging threatening or would-be threatening tweets over a fake news story.
All in the name of speed, right? First to get there. Don't have to. I'm sorry. You do not have to qualify this. Why? Speed kills or influences or reshapes. And in the name of speed, who are the ones that's better to disseminate this information and fall prey to it? Those who are Johnny-come-lately users of it, or those who said, "Oh no, I'm only going to use this when it's ripe for the picking." Basically,
all the above.
How many times have we been influenced by a posting just for about 2 seconds? Just about 2 seconds.
Well, that's my point. Bringing is the precedent, like
saying.
PMC in the chat room. Oh no, PMC actually Facebook. I'm trying to, you guys. I'm trying to look around live on the air. It takes a while. At the Facebook, PMC, who's tuned in and watching, is saying, "Wow, that's some scary shit."
It is.
And I said, "Yeah, well, that's why I brought it up to you guys, because
I'm gonna say what I need to say.
It was that ridiculous." Mika, what do you think about this?
I think that could be a major problem for the people in third world countries and also United States that want to see some bullshit go down, and knowing that certain entities have that, what I consider the red button, to start a third world war to do that. And that's what we don't need. And there's a lot of people that would like to see some chaos happen. And what better way to trigger or jumpstart it, especially with Trump in office already,
He hasn't even assumed office.
No. When I say in office, he's already been selected.
I'm saying that to them.
Right.
My point has been, look at all this shit we're having.
Okay, wait.
Obama still got a month, roughly, right?
You don't even have a month? That countdown has already
the
went
20th,
past.
20 days, 20-some days.
But I'm saying, you have people talking about we need to take back our country. I didn't know that it was snatched. But at the same time, you have Trump that's making allies with Russia while Obama did a good deal with Cuba. So it's a lot of people that want to see some mess go down with the United States and any other country just for the satisfaction, because they feel that United States for a very long time in history, they feel, their opinion, that been bullies when it comes to warfare. Okay. They're always instigating in other people's stuff. We have our own soldiers that make those remarks. So at some point, how do you find out what's fake news versus real news when it's on social media that's like a wildfire, and it's coming from sources and prominent sources? So, and to the people that actually have what you call the legit accounts with the blue check mark, and there's ways to get around that too and fake that, you really don't know. They have to say something for the people in their cabinets or in their office to actually either endorse or correct or jump on the bandwagon and say, you know what, I'm stamping my name on this. Yes, this is true. And if CNN is not talking about it, then...
Well, I don't know. Okay, let's just say this, and we're going to move forward. The issue of fake news is an ongoing issue. I can guarantee you it is a growing issue. What to do about it? I don't have an answer to that just yet, because the scope of which is still being determined.
Right.
And what happens, and I can guarantee you the scope is going to grow. That's what I basically am saying to you.
Mm-hmm. Be scared.
There's going to be more fake news, not less. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know how to deal with that at the moment. It's something that I'm dwelling on, thinking about, but I don't have a set opinion because of the broadness of the scope of the issue. Wow. All right, so we'll be talking about that coming up.
Just now on my Facebook, 2 people just said, great question that you posed, and they were wondering the same thing. And another person on here just said, how do you know when fake news about Trump and Russia interfering with our voting system, is it true or false? How do you know when you have?
I don't have a simple answer to that. I think you have to look. That's what I'm saying. I think you have to look at multiple sources,
right?
And then after that, which I do, I'll go look at multiple sources from the left, right, foreign, and still on many issues you won't have a clear idea. Right. So that'll be something will be coming up in upcoming issues too. Part of the good news, the bad news, and now here's another one. This is more of a personal item because it was personal to me. So the American Board of Medical Specialties has approved pediatrics' latest subspecialty, pediatric hospital medicine, which I did for 30 years.
Expert right here.
Is now becoming the newest pediatric subspecialty. I got to give.
There you go.
Right.
There you go.
Those of us, and I'll explain. Thank you. That's enough. Hospital medicine. As the pediatric hospitalist, I was the pediatrician who worked on the inside in the hospital. The idea started years ago at Kaiser Permanente when I had finished up a year of running the ICU at LA County Hospital as faculty, and I went out looking for work. I called up Kaiser looking for some moonlighting, and 3 hours later, one of my former attendees who worked at Kaiser called me back and offered me a job. And he said, Mario, you still doing all that after hours, weird schedule stuff? You always take care of the hot stuff. He said, well, we want someone to work on the inside, just to take care of all the inpatients.
Right.
Which also I would cover the nursery, every pediatric thing on the inside.
Okay.
The term didn't exist then, but I was the hospital doctor. In other words, I took care of all the hot stuff. When the pediatricians in the office got anything of any significance, they turned that over to me. Okay, if you came into the ER and proceeded to have a respiratory arrest or begin to convulse continuously, that would be me. If you were a newborn baby who was born with a knot in your cord or a cord trapped or strung around your neck that choked the shit out of you at birth, then that would be me. I did that for 30 years. I was the pediatric hospitalist. The word, people didn't know what it meant. For years, I never, most of the people that I know, if you know me from medicine, I never talked about music. And if you know me from music and video, I pretty much never talked about medicine.
Yeah, that's odd. He never, it's like two people in one body.
I never, because it was just, the medical, doing music didn't make you look better in the medical community where I operated on that high level, intensive level. And it never helped you to be a physician in the music community because everybody thought you did it as a hobby.
Okay.
But just a moment to acknowledge that the American Board of Medical Specialties has now approved the latest subspecialty. If I was going to practice medicine anymore, then I would go back and get grandfathered.
What do you mean by that?
I would meet criteria to be given certification in this.
You would already be in.
They have to see, whenever they come up with a new specialty, they have to look at who's been doing it.
Consistently.
Who's been doing it forever. And
as
then
a
they
track
have to
record?
then they try to give you a way to get certified.
Oh.
But I don't need any more I don't need to be certified. I'm a board certified. I don't need to be certified in hospital medicine because I don't intend to really practice medicine. If I were, it would be because I'm traveling to Cuba, to other places. I don't intend to practice it. I don't intend to work for anyone anymore doing that.
Work for yourself.
Well, I'm going to do this. I'm doing this. But that new specialty, there you go. Okay, now last thing on the news today, and I thought this was some important stuff, is wonderful animal fuzzy wuzzy stuff.
Oh my God.
Oh, Lord.
Oh my God.
That one on the right's a little frightening looking at me.
You're right.
I don't know.
It's a Pomeranian.
Fuzzy wuzzy. These are ridiculous things we do to our pets. Dress them up, make them feel like shit.
They put lights around the baby. Oh my
You
God.
hear that?
Right. Oh
Okay. Yeah, that's one.
See.
Where's my? Okay.
He's so sad.
That's wrong.
I just like
That's so wrong
And-
on so many levels.
I love this latest thing. Here you go. This one is come on, stop. This one is the baby bear looking on what would be dinner in a few
He
years.
trying to intimidate it. Look at him.
What is that?
He trying to stand on his little legs, trying to intimidate it. He said, "Let me get closer and do it." He said, "Let me see. Look,
A kiss.
look at him. He gonna slide on the wooden floor. Look, he trying to have his
Look
little
at that
grip.
kiss.
Oh, he backing up next to dog food.
Go give it another kiss. Go give it another kiss, Spook. Yes. Yes, that's a bear kiss.
Yeah, right.
Here's a bear kiss.
That's true. When they little, when they get grown, it's a whole nother,
Everybody.
whole
I'm
nother
telling you.
story, right?
Yeah.
That's the good news. The bad news.